Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie Part 2. My name is Susan LaCroix. I've been a demonstrator for 23 years, and together with my daughter, Julie Davison, we've been doing these Sunday videos for quite a long time, actually. Anyway, Julie, unfortunately, again, can't join me while I'm filming. She's just in like a tornado of activities with kids, all kind of going in different directions. And so she just wasn't able to. We tried to make it work. We really did, because we much prefer filming together. But we knew this was going to happen, that there would be times when we just couldn't. And again, this is one of those times. So hopefully we could get together and film next weekend. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are getting ready for Thanksgiving if you are cooking. And oh my goodness, I have to get my turkey out of the freezer. So when I'm done filming, I'm going to do that. All right. So on that happy note, ah, I'm going to flip to my desktop and show you what we are using this week. So we're back in the November 2025 online exclusives. And this week we are using the online exclusive suite called Hobby Haven Suite Collection. I'll show you all the details, but there is a bundle, Creative Haven. There is designer series paper with some die cut punch outs. There's some embellishments and there's some ribbon. So let me go through and show you all of these. So let's start with the stamp set. It is photopolymer, as they all are now, or all the new ones. And it is 7 stamp sets. You're the best. Friends like you are golden. Deep breath. You've got this. So happy to have you in my life. And you deserve all the good things with some star embellishments. This is paired with some dies, the Creative Haven dies. There are 11 dies in here. So there are um, dies that go with all of these. There's 2 sizes of these rectangles. And there is, oh, here, let me just show you them. And so then there's these label punches that you can um, um, die cut everything out with. There's a couple of like leaf bunches. Then there's these little pieces, and it took me a minute to figure out what they're for. So basically, if you want to put a hole in the top of your oval, you can just put this up against there. And then this doesn't have an edge to cut, just the hole there. There's also slots. So both of these straight edge pieces and both of these little semicircles have a slot if you want for like wider ribbon. Oh, and the skinnier hole if you want to use like baker's twine or for something else. So anyway, those are the dies. And these little guys here have their own little hole already built in so that you can have that. So that's the bundle. Just shove that out of the way along with the envelope. We also have some ribbon, and this is 1/8 of an inch, I believe. I think it is. It's garden green. It's got kind of a herringbone pattern to it. 3.2 centimeters or 3.2 millimeters is what this is, but I think it's like 1/8 of an inch. And then we have some dots. These are matte dots. they're called earthy matte dots. We've got pecan pie. We've got secret sea. We have blue. I think it's balmy blue. And then I think this, it looks red to me, but I think it's supposed to go with the Cajun craze. So I'm still trying to work with that a little bit. So those are the embellishments. And then let's look at this designer series paper. So it's 12 by 12 paper. I have the DSP cut down to 6 by 6 to share with you. And so we have, well, you know what? Let me show you these. These are the die cuts. And you just have to punch them out. And so we have all different um, images here. And what I did was with the other page, which I will soon do with this page. Oh, this is caught. Dog. Okay. Put them all in a cello bag. I punched out one sheet and put them all there so that I would have them handy and they wouldn't be falling all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to get this out of the way so that you can see the rest. And so these are different, I guess, hobbies. So, or things you're passionate about. Like I love to read. So I thought I like that. This one, it looks like it's makeup and lotions and all kinds of things to take care of yourself, I guess. If you love to cook and bake, we've got all kinds of stuff here. And I like this sheet too. This is the first one I was drawn to. It's just some comfortable chairs and some shelves with plants and pictures on it. And then this one is sewing and knitting and needlepoint. And this takes me back to high school, patterns of, clothes when we learned to sew. And I don't really like to iron, but if you're a sewer, you have to iron. So then the back side of all of these are just some coordinating, more neutral images that can be used for any occasion, really. The one thing that surprised me about this side of the paper, there's no ink pads and stamps. So that kind of surprised me, but that's okay. All right. So let me get out a couple of samples to show you. I'm going to try to move some of this stuff out of my way and over there. So I made a couple of samples, and this one is just white card base and some Daffodil Delight and the B side of one of the images that I kind of offset a little bit. This is one of the die cut punch outs. And then I just took a small piece of basic white, You Deserve All the Good Things, and tied a bow through the hole. And then I brought out, um, oh, which ones are these? I must have put them away. These are the, like, I think they're in color pearls, maybe the low profile pearls. So that's that one. And then this was kind of an off-center gatefold. And so I chose the baking ones and then the B side here. And I die cut out one of the rectangles that has the hole in it already, threw a little ribbon in there, took the cupcake die cut and some of the pecan pie embellishments for this one. So those are my two samples that I made. And now I'm going to bring out my materials to make our project today and we'll get going. So, all right. Just to get myself a little organized here. So my card base is basic beige. Turn this the right way. It's 5.5 by 10 and 1/8 inch. And we're scoring it at 4 1/4, 5 3/4, 7 1/4, and 8 3/4. And I'll have all the measurements in my description as well. I took a piece of the designer series paper and I cut 2 3/4 by 5.5 of the crafty one. And I haven't decided which piece of this I'm going to use yet. So it I just did 2 of them. And then I took some more of the designer series paper and made 1 1/4 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And then I die cut out a basic beige one of these banners, and I used one of the one with the slot. If that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to take these off. Oh, and I meant to grab a piece of white for the inside. I happen to have one right here. I think that's 3 3/4 by 5 inches is the basic white for the inside. Okay. So let's start here. What I'm going to do is, I haven't made one of these in, gosh, quite a while. And there's been kind of a resurgence. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I dug out my tutorial and we're going to fold these. So I'm going to fold this way. And you really do need a bone folder to get nice creases. And then I'm going to fold, and it doesn't really matter which way because they're all going the same direction. This isn't a fold that's back and forth. We're going to make a square chimney card. Okay. So the way this is going to work is we're going to put our adhesive here, and then it'll fold in like so. So this is what you want your card base to look like. And I would strongly urge you to, before you you glue it down, that any designer series paper decorations or embossing, whatever you're going to do, do it before you glue it down. Okay. So our adhesive's going to go here. So I'm going to take our 3 pieces of designer series paper and I'm going to glue them along here. Okay. Oh, those are supposed to all be the same size. Yeah, they are. Okay. So I'm going to use some liquid glue, I think. No, I'm not. I'm changing my mind. I'll just use some of our seal. We're going to just try to center it in here very well. Do I ever miss chit-chatting with Julie while we're working? And I know she is too, that she's just gonna need to sleep a lot when this weekend is done. She's gonna be so tired. Now, what I'm gonna do next is I'm not using the ribbon that comes with the suite because it is garden green. And the designer series paper I'm using doesn't really have any garden green in there. So I'm going to pick up one of the other colors. And so I have actually pulled out the petal pink scalloped edge in pretty pink, pretty in pink, petal pink. Ah, see, Julie wasn't even here to help correct me. And I'm just going to put a piece of this. I want to just add some texture is what I really would like to do. So, and I like using tear and tape when I'm laying like a strip of ribbon down. And I purposefully cut it too long so that I can kind of trim it back here. So I want to go to the middle on each of these pieces. And conveniently, they have 5 little squares, so makes it pretty easy to find the center. You know what? I'm going to use my snips to. Into the next guy. Again, I'm going to find my center square. Do any of you have this suite yet? Or do you plan on buying it? All right, so this looks like about the halfway point. This was one of these I had to think about for a little bit. But then I thought, oh, what fun. All the different hobbies. So it ended up in my cart. And here we are, using it. Okay. So now we're going to peel off our backing. And then I'd like to, I like this side. And what I like to do is just stretch it over. The adhesive. I just really like that extra bit of texture on this card. I think this suite really lends itself to using product from other suites or other elements in our product line. Well, my goodness. Come on now. I must have some adhesive or something on here. Okay, come on. There we go. I need to go down here more to cut. I think I need to clean my scissors. Goodness me. There we go. That's what it was supposed to do. Just slice right off. All right. So once we have that done, I think it's safe to go ahead and actually let me put my, okay, now it's a moment of truth. Which one of these am I going to use? So we've got this one with the sewing machine and the pattern. Oh, I wish this was live so I could ask you which one. You know what? I'm going with that one. And this is going to go right up against the edge of that piece. Now we can go ahead and put our adhesive down. And I'm going to once again bring out my tear and tape. I find this holds when you're doing folds and other kinds of things. I think this just kind of holds better. I don't know how Julie does it, but she manages to just eyeball it and get it really close to the size she really wants. There we go. That should hold just fine. Now we'll get these backings off. This is quite an easy fold, once you have the score marks, nice in there and you get nice good creases. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. Like so. Okay, so now we have our square done. And we're going to work on our other little piece here. So I'm going to we're gonna put our adhesive here once I'm done with it. But we're going to stamp, and I couldn't decide if I was going to use early espresso because there's some early espresso in there, or Cajun craze. And I think I'm going to go with the Cajun craze. And I'm going to use the Friends Like You Are Golden. So we're just going to kind of stamp this right over here. Turn this upside down. Move you out of my way. Don't think I need any more now at this particular moment. All right. Let's do that. Oh, well, that didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. Let's flip it over and try it again. Sometimes I stamp first and then die cut it. Sometimes I go ahead and die cut it and do it this way. If this doesn't work, I'll try the early espresso. Maybe it's something on the ink pad. Yeah, let's try the early espresso. I do have another one. Let me grab a wipe to clean the stamp. All right. Get all the Cajun crazy off my fingertips now. Now, I will confess to you that when I did my sample, and I'll show it to you, I actually used different colors and different paper. What is on here? Let's try this again with early espresso. There we go. That's better. So this is going to go on here like so. We'll find our tear and tape again. Find my little edge. So I'm just going to put one row right here. Friends like you are golden. And I'm going to take another little piece of this ribbon. And I put the slot in here on purpose. So I can put a little tie up here. So I brought these out as embellishments. These are the low profile dots, and I pulled them out originally because of the petal pink. But I thought that's a lot of petal pink, and we've got friends like you are golden. So I'm going to take one here, and because this is not stamped the best, I'm going to put that one right there. And we're going to put another one maybe up here like so, and then another big guy down here. So that, well, I don't like it there. Let's go up here. My friends. I like it better. All right. And then you can write a note on the back, or you can add another piece of cardstock and put something there. So actually, let's do this. We can put some, do I like this one? Or do I want it on here? Like so. Okay, I think it shows up better here. So I pulled out this one, You're the Best. And again, we're going to use that with in early espresso. I want to be a little careful because we got a bump here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this off to the right. And that looks crooked to me. Oh, darn it. Well, guess what? We're going to do the white. All right. So put it more center here. And We've got some buttons here. You don't really see any buttons on there. This is really too big. I think I'm just going to leave it there and put another small button here. And we'll put that away. All right, so let's get that on with some glue dots. Close up our ink. Sometimes it's good that you haven't decided on a final outcome, and so you just lay out a bunch of different options so that if something happens, you're good to go. All right. This leaves you room for a little note and a signature. And now we can go ahead and glue this onto the back to cover our mistake. Ta-da! All right. So here it is. Fits into the envelope very nicely. And then it can open up and stand. So friends like you are golden and you're the best. So the first one I did is I used garden green as my card base and those pieces and the chair and the plants. And then I used some of the ribbon just to tie it. I just kind of fed it through the column and put a couple glue dots to kind of hold it in place. And some of the darker secret C dots, there is a little bit of secret C on here. And then on the back side, you're the best. And I took one of the die cuts and glued it on there. So these are square column cards. Have you ever made one of these? And if not, I hope you'll give it a try because it really isn't very difficult, especially when you don't mess up like I did. So I'm curious, this or that. Do you like the sewing or do you like the chair and plants? Leave me a comment. Let me know. All right, I'm going to turn my camera back. So I'll be with you again in just a half a second. There we are. So here's the one we just made. Friends like you are golden. And then here's my sample that I started off with. I don't know. I'm going to let Julie choose and let her tell me which one she likes. And then I'll send it to her. All right. Well, as we're getting ready to wrap up, if you like these projects, give me a thumbs up, please. And don't forget to join my channel and Julie's so that you never miss an episode of Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie. And have a very blessed and happy Thanksgiving. If you're cooking, I know you'll get lots of help, hopefully. And if you're not cooking, enjoy. And the Detroit Lions always play on Thanksgiving, and it's always a huge deal here. So if you are a football fan, you might want to turn on the games that are on. I don't know how many there are. I don't think very many. I know the Lions for sure because that's what we do every year. That's part of our Thanksgiving tradition is that we watch the Lions. So that's what we'll do again this year. And until next Sunday Stamping with Susan and Julie, goodbye, everybody.